the all the final details, after giving all the final details in your geotechnical report, after finishing, first one was preliminary report, uh, first one was letter of transmittal, then we were having preliminary investigation report, then we were having geotechnical investigation report. After giving in detail geotechnical parameters report, in that you need to conclude that particular report. So in conclusion of that geotechnical report, you have to mention the basic parameters and whatever conclusions you are going to communicate to the client, that what has to be done and what has not to be done. So with this, we will try to discuss a little bit onto this, that discussion onto the foundation types. Now, actually, there is the overall purpose of the client is that you, as a geotechnical investigator, is going to propose some remedies if there is a problem, or you are going to propose the foundation system to the client. Spread footing discussion, strip or continuous footing, column footings, basement footings, placement of reinforcement. Say it is individually that which type of for footing you are proposing. You are not going to propose each and every footing to the client. You are not going to propose individual isolated footing. Uh, it is possible that it can be combined with a combined footing. Somewhere it is combined footing is allowed. That is, there is a requirement of a combined footing. At some places, you require only an isolated footing because the other column, which is quite a far away in the building. But it is not possible that you are going to propose isolated footing as well as raft footing, or isolated footing with a raft supported on the pile footing. So you are going to suggest only one type of footing based upon the other things along with that. So it is going to be the dimensions, the punching shear check, one way as well as two-way shear check. What is going to be the reinforcement into that particular footing, possibility of the settlement, both total and differential settlement. Although we check it, the design means that you have already checked the settlement. It is quite possible depending upon the rate, loading rate. अगर loading rate बाद में बढ़ता है, so you can give a differential settlement chances in that case, varying with the time, although it can be 80 years or 100 years. Economies of excavation and backfill. That means what is going to be the volume which is going to come out in case you are providing isolated footing or you are providing a raft footing. Suppose you want the basement of is proposed by the structural engineer. If basement is proposed, that means there will be too much of excavation. So that excavation, whether it is how much deep you are going to go, that is going to be told by a geotechnical engineer, and whether it is feasible in that case, which type of foundation is going to be feasible. अगर आपका excavation में ही cost बहुत ज़्यादा आ रहा है, and you can suppose any other alternative, because soil strata at above layers is for starting 1 or 2 meters is not good, and you have to go for a higher bearing capacity to a stratum which is 3 to 4 meters down. So what is the excavation cost that is coming into the project, and what are your suggestions corresponding to that? In case you are proposing mat or raft foundation, then again differential settlement from outside to center, because mat foundation is quite huge. It varies from 18 meters to, let's say, 25 to 30 meter or 50 meter in the other direction. So what is going to be the gradient of settlement if it is going to be there? Because the center of the mat is going to be approximately 10 meters from the outermost side. So 10 meters is huge. Depth of pressure bulb, to how much depth your foundation which you are suggesting is will be covering the area, because the pressure bulb is going to tell. I would like to open one of the possible. This is pile, single pile, then we have got group of piles. This is the, we can say, deep foundation. So this will give you an idea of pressure bulb. For a single pile, this is going to be the pressure bulb. And for a group of pile, there is an overlap of the pressure bulb. Pressure bulb gives an idea that to what extent vertically and horizontally the whatever foundation system, if it is isolated footing also, it will be giving you a pressure bulb that to which area it is going to cater, and what is the bearing capacity in that layer. You can make an idea out of it. That is supposed to be given by the geotechnical investigator. Driven piles, this was the, you can see, negative screen friction. So when we evaluate the pile capacity, this is only on pile capacity. We have got skin friction as well as the tip bearing capacity. So these are the two components which are going to give you the final value of the bearing capacity of the pile, and that is the load taken by that particular pile. And if you are having a pile cap above it, so this is the pile cap you are having. These piles with end bearing effect plus skin friction is going to take the total load, and your superstructure is resting onto this. The superstructure is resting onto this particular pile cap. So whatever load is coming from above, it has to be resisted by the this particular pile group based upon whatever is the bearing strata. Bearing strata आपको कहाँ पे available है? That will again decide what is going to be the depth of the pile. Whether it be 5 meter, it will be 9 meter, it will be 15 meter. So bedrock, mostly we take it up to the bedrock, which can be 9 meter, 10 meter, or it can be 15 meters sometimes. So whatever, if you are having clayey soil, the skin friction is going to be giving you more load carrying capacity, and accordingly, these are the things which are required to be given in your geotechnical report. So these are the, I've prepared a document in which I will share it with you that what content has to be studied from there. Groundwater identification is another separate. Earlier we were discussing was the foundation types. That what is your suggestion as a geotechnical investigator in the report? What you are going to give the content to the client. Now, groundwater type of water control, surface runoff, what are the ditches, disposal of water, how it is going to be dewatering with well points, what is the now this permeability of soil, this you are going to check into the laboratory because it is difficult to check in situ. So you are going to check it into the laboratory, and then the same results you are going to provide to the client. The permeability, type of drainage, site development, that is how the client is supposed to proceed with the when he or she is starting the project, how the embankment filling and cutting, all those procedure has to be done. How much compaction is required? Now this is going to be done again into the laboratory, moisture control plus compaction. So compaction test and moisture test we will be discussing just now. And after executing that particular test, whatever the data is required by the client, that will be given by you in the proposed table, so that the interference of that particular data or the table gives an ultimate value to the client. It should be easily interferable. Inference can be made from it. Now let us discuss after this some of the if you have to conclude our report writing, that how it should be done, that it should avoid long descriptions, that is unnecessary theory writing into the report should be avoided. अगर आपके पास लिक्विड लिमिट का आपको टेस्ट का रिजल्ट्स डॉक्यूमेंट करने हैं, प्लास्टिक लिमिट के टेस्ट के रिजल्ट्स डॉक्यूमेंट करने हैं, you need not to write the whole theory behind that particular test. Or if it is a compaction test, you are not required to write the whole theory behind the compaction test. Whatever is required, only that, what is going to be the aim, what is going to be the procedure, that means with that is also into the brief. So accordingly, you can just give in the tabular form whatever the results are required, as we do into the lab. Actually, in lab also, if you go through seriously to the lab note, as we are going to just see down, now this is a soil classification handout which is going to be used into the laboratory. Although here a lot of things are being given just for the explanation purpose. Whatever is required is starting from the here procedure, a little bit explanation, and this is the part which is required most in the tabular form. And what are the conclusions? This is a different kind because here it is a theoretical part. It has been explained that what is its significance, how it has been done, why it is being done. These all the things are not required into the geotechnical investigation report, because it is a kind of a practical industrial report. So the even author and even the reviewer or and client already knows whatever the limits we are talking about. So, as far as report writing is concerned, of a total geotechnical investigation report corresponding to a project, it is finished here. Now we will see the individual, some of the 3 to 4 experiments, individual report writing, how it is being done, because you are in second year. When you move on to the third year already in the subject. So as you might have done experiments in your second year also or first year, we used to write down the aim, apparatus, procedure, then readings and the conclusion. These are the 5 subheadings, and the same are being used for a practical experiment in the soil mechanics domain also. We will see 3 to 4 experiments, and based on that only I am going to supply with you the material for other tests also. So you can go through these 5 domains: aim, objective, procedure, readings, and conclusion. That is how we infer from the readings what are going to be the values. To classify 2 soils, and this is the most important actually, that is why I've taken it as at the first instance. This we have already done in the using the other book. So this I will show you that where we have already done it. So this we have done here actually. If you remember this plasticity chart and all, this we have discussed. Now the same thing, although at that point of time I told you that we will be discussing this in detail later on. So Utterberg limits test in laboratory, and based upon these are unified classification system. They have developed their seed number is different from the Indian system, and based upon that they have classified the soil. This is how we write down the report for that particular system. These are the legends as we have already seen earlier also. This is what the conclusion is actually, and other than this, that after finding out the conclusions that which type of soil is there at particular site, that is the conclusion we give to the client based upon the laboratory experiments we have conducted, and all those laboratory experiments are documented into the whole geotechnical investigation report. Whatever tests are required, that report will be close to 100 pages. So unified classification system. First, soil determining its particle size distribution, and for the second, soil determining its liquid and plastic limit. So these are the 2 criteria to gain the overall classification of the soil system. One is particle size distribution using already told to you in the last to last lecture. Particle size distribution using sieve analysis and hydrometer analysis, sieve analysis and hydrometer analysis. And then we have got Atterberg's limits, where very fine, that is 0.075 micron, less than that, whatever we have the grain size of the soil particles. So those soils are further classified using the Atterberg limits and Casagrande apparatus into the soil mechanics laboratory. Soils differ from other. This is very important. Why we are discussing soil as a different material? Because we have already discussed other materials in a broader sense at a single place. हमने अलग अलग मटेरियल को डिस्कस नहीं किया, ना हमने एल्यूमिनियम को अलग डिस्कस किया, ना हमने कॉपर को, ना ब्रॉन्ज को, ना हमने आयरन को, but we are discussing soils separately because all the earlier materials either fall into the brittle materials or ductile materials, and their behavior is already documented. They are man-made and their behavior can be easily understood by an engineer by the already documented literature, whereas in soils they don't have any control over their structure. They, although they varies from soil, silt, sand and clay, but their behavior depends upon the load applied onto them and whatever is their bearing capacity. This is very an uncertain domain of soil is there. They have significant influence on the soil behavior. The first stage of any site investigation must be to determine the types and extents of the various soils. Types and extents. That is, अगर आप किसी साइट का इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रहे हो, सबसे पहला रिक्वायरमेंट है, अगर क्लाइंट आपसे मांगता है या अपने ही किसी प्रोजेक्ट के लिए आप कर रहे हो, तो सॉइल कितने तरह की हैं, कौन कौन सी सॉइल आपकी साइट पर पाई जाती हैं. अगर आपका 1000 एकड़ का आपका प्रोजेक्ट साइट है, बड़े बड़े प्रोजेक्ट में इतना ही एरिया कवर्ड होता है, देन ये सॉइल आपकी कहां से कहां तक वेरी करती है. इट इज क्वाइट पॉसिबल इट विल बी ओनली 2 to 3 टाइप्स, बट कहीं पर आपका लूज सॉइल है, फिल्ड अप सॉइल है, सिल्टी सैंड है, बहुत ज्यादा कोहेजनलेस सॉइल है. इट इज क्वाइट पॉसिबल, स्पेशली इफ यू आर क्लोज टू अ रिवर. लेट्स से अगर आपका रिवर के पास, यमुना रिवर के पास या गंगा रिवर के पास आपका प्रोजेक्ट साइट है, so it is quite possible that it will be highly undulated and highly varying in behavior soil type. So simple classification tests have been devised to sort soil into types. Whatever these soil classifications are there, they give an idea about the behavior of the soil. But it is as it is written, it is simple, crude and an indication of the engineering properties. But it is very close to actual engineering properties. अगर आप उसको ज़्यादा अच्छे इंस्ट्रूमेंट से करेंगे या और डेप्थ में जाके आप उस सेम पैरामीटर निकालने की कोशिश करेंगे, तो इट विल कम क्लोज टू these crude experiments. The unified classification system is based on measurements of the particle size distribution and plasticity of the soil. तो अगर आपको एग्जाम में ये क्वेश्चन आता है, कि पार्टिकल साइज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन और प्लास्टिसिटी ऑफ द सॉइल, इट इज यूज्ड फॉर व्हाट? कैन यू राइट इट? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In that, you can briefly write down about the particle size distribution, that is sieve analysis and hydrometer analysis. Then you have got the plasticity of the soil, Atterbuck's limit and Casagrande apparatus. In that you can write down about the liquid limit and plasticity index, plastic limit and plasticity index, which we are going to study just now, because it will depend that how in how many marks you are getting the question. अगर आपका क्वेश्चन 8 मार्क्स का आता है तो आप कितना लिखोगे, दैट यू हैव टू जज योरसेल्फ. The properties are given in the following order. See, this has been shown here. जब हम soil classification करते हैं तो हम जो जो हमने टेस्ट किया है, जो जो हमने सीव एनालिसिस किया है, उससे जो जो प्रॉपर्टीज निकल के आई हैं, दे आर पुट इनटू दीज 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 कैटेगरीज. ये 8 फॉर एग्जांपल इट हैज बीन गिवन हियर. सो हाउ विल वी डॉक्यूमेंट, हम एक पर्टिकुलर सैंपल को टेस्ट करने के बाद कैसे उसको डॉक्यूमेंट करेंगे, ये सब टेस्टिंग 8 के 8 टेस्टिंग प्रोसीजर फॉलो करने के बाद. सो एज वी कैन सी, द फर्स्ट वन इज क्लासिफिकेशन सिंबल. नाउ क्लासिफिकेशन सिंबल SM is given. I have written in red. I have given that in red letters कि कौन सा किसको कॉरेस्पॉन्ड करता है. Second one is soil name, that is sand, that is gravely silty sand is the name coming out of it. पहला उसका ब्रीफ में शॉर्ट फॉर्म में उसका हमने क्लासिफिकेशन सिंबल दिया. तो अगर किसी ने ये बाकी के पैरामीटर्स नहीं भी पढ़े, बाकी के 7 पैरामीटर्स नहीं भी पढ़े, तो जो फर्स्ट वाला है SM is going to give the idea that in which category that particular soil sample lies. जो बहुत ज्यादा एक्सपर्ट लोग हैं या जो कंसल्टेंट है, वो जब अपनी रिपोर्ट बनाते हैं, they write it like that. So simply you can identify, अगर आपकी बहुत बड़ी साइट है, उसमें आपने एक एरिया मार्क कर दिया और उस एरिया में आपने SM लिख दिया, that this particular deposit correspond to SM. That simply means it is gravelly silty sand and it is according to unified classification system. कोई भी आप सिस्टम फॉलो कर रहे हो, अगर आप यूरोप में रहते हो, अगर यूरोप का अपना सॉइल क्लासिफिकेशन सिस्टम है, इंडिया में आप रहते हो, इंडिया का अपना सॉइल क्लासिफिकेशन सिस्टम है, तो जो भी डेजिग्नेशन है या लेजेंड है उस रिपोर्ट में उसके अकॉर्डिंग आएगा. Then the third one is plasticity or particle characteristics, that is coarse to fine. Then we have got similarly color, pale brown, color of the soil, that is pale brown. Then we have got secondary soil components, name, estimated proportion, plasticity, particle characteristics, color, that is 20% of the angular gravel. Then we have got 6-1, that is minor soil components. मेन कंपोनेंट्स के अलावा उस सैंपल में, उस जगह की सॉइल में और क्या क्या है, that separate test will be done for that, and the data has been, as it has been written here, 15% of the silt is also there along with the major 60 to 65% of the manure. It is a clay or it is anything else. So this is how we document. Soil plasticity, 2 tests. It is known as Atterbuck's limit tests, are used to determine the plastic and liquid limits of the soil. Difference between moisture contents at the limits is the called plasticity index. These tests are somewhat arbitrary but have been found to be approximate strength indicators. यही मैंने आपको बताया कि इससे हमें approximate strength निकल के आती है. The shear strength measured at the liquid limit is approximately 2 kilonewton per meter square. It will vary according to the soil sample, the type of soil. The greater the plasticity index, the more plastic the soil. So what is the plasticity index? That will be a subtraction of liquid limit minus plastic limit. क्योंकि लिक्विड लिमिट में ज्यादा मॉइस्चर कंटेंट ज्यादा होगा, इसलिए हम लिक्विड लिमिट में से माइनस करेंगे उसको. Liquid limit is defined as the minimum moisture content at which 25 blows. Now I've opened the apparatus also. This we have discussed the other day. ये मैंने शो किया था आपको इंस्ट्रूमेंट. इसमें हम इसको 10 mm दैट इज 1 सेंटीमीटर तक इस जो सैंपल है उसको फिल करके रखते हैं और उसके बाद हम इसमें एक ग्रूव मार्क कर देते हैं फॉर अ सर्टेन विड्थ that we will see later on, and then we give the blows using this particular rotation from here, and these blows are being counted. Basically it is 2 blows per second. So it is 25 blows. The standard test apparatus will just close a groove in a sample of soil. Just close, that is, it is not going to merge, it is going to just close. जो आपको मेटल का गैप नजर आ रहा है वो दिखना बंद हो जाएगा. ये गैप जो यहाँ पे दिखाई दे रहा है ये दिखना बंद हो जाएगा. What is the plastic limit? It is the minimum moisture content. मिनिमम जैसे कि हम इसमें क्या करते हैं, वाटर ऐड करते रहते हैं. पहले वो नहीं होता है क्लोज, वो मूव ही नहीं होता है. सो एट अ सर्टेन लिमिट, एज आई हैव ऑलरेडी shown you the other day, there is a very fine gap. We can see here there is a straight line, there is not a zone. Zone नहीं है, एक straight line है. तो इस लाइन के ऊपर वाली साइड जो मॉइस्चर कंटेंट है वो डिफरेंट है और इस लाइन के नीचे वाली साइड डाउन में मॉइस्चर कंटेंट अलग है. So as soon as it shifts from this light gray to dark gray, that is the plasticity index. That is the difference between liquid limit and the plastic limit. Plastic limit is the minimum moisture content at which the soil can be rolled into a thread of 3 mm without breaking. So we have also seen this particular so we continue to increase the moisture content, and at a moisture content where it ceases to break into two pieces, that particular thread of 3 mm ceases to break into two pieces, that is called as plastic limit. Now the plasticity index, now let us go back to the figure here. Now it is shifting. When it ceases, it is shifting to the semi-solid part from here to here. I will mark an arrow. So it is shifting when it is ceases to break into two parts, that 3 mm thread. But we will take its limit as plastic limit. The classification of plastic soils in the unified system is based on the plot of liquid limit versus plasticity index. So it is liquid limit versus plasticity index, not plastic limit. In this test, a small cone is allowed to penetrate into the soil, and the moisture content as the penetration is measured to be 20 mm, is defined as the liquid limit. Now, after this, the procedure is given, and after the procedure, the same procedure which has been explained, a sample of approximately 10 mm cube should be taken into the and rolled into the palm of hand on a glass plate into a thread of 3 mm in diameter. The moisture content is adjusted until see, this word is very important. Until word has been used here. Until this 3 mm thread is just begins to crumble. पहले क्या होगा, वो क्रम्बल होगा, उसके बाद हो सकता है उस पर्टिकुलर मॉइस्चर कंटेंट में वो टू पीसेस में ब्रेक ना हो. सो व्हेन यू फर्दर रिड्यूस इट और इंक्रीज इट, the moisture content should then be measured, and this is a plastic limit. Now this is the procedure. This is the explanation. That is what our purpose is. हम ये क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं हमें पता है, बट ये हमने यहाँ पे explanation देख लिया इसका. And after that, what is the experimental procedure? This is the experimental procedure which we are going to document in a report. Perform a sieving of approximately 100 gram of soil provided and record the mass of the soil retained on each sieve. जैसे हमने एक अदर डे एक फिगर देखा था, इसमें हर एक सैंपल कहाँ पे, ये वाला जो है अब हमारा फिगर था, इसमें कितना रिटेन हो रहा है और कितना पास हो रहा है. जो पास हो रहा है वो नीचे वाली सीट पे आएगा, तो इसमें से जो पास हो गया वो यहाँ पे रिटेन हो जाएगा. आप रिटेन होने वाले का आप मास ले सकते हो और मास लेने के बाद उसको वापस डाल सकते हो, या फिर आप उसको टोटल सैंपल के जो वेट है 100 ग्राम जो मास है उसमें से माइनस अगर कर देते हो रिटेन वाले को, तो भी जो पास हो गया है वो वैल्यू आपको मिल जाएगी. तो हर एक सीव नंबर पे कितना रिटेन हुआ और कौन सा पास हुआ, दिस यू हैव टू डॉक्यूमेंट वेरी क्रिटिकली, and the same is going to be documented into your tabular chart. Now, those who are passing in the least are going to be tested using hydrometer calibration. And based upon this, the plotting is being done. Your report should include the plot. That is why the word report is there. तो हमारा पर्पस यहाँ पे रिपोर्ट सीखना है कि रिपोर्टिंग हम क्या करेंगे. अगर हम थ्योरी एक्स्ट्रा थ्योरी नहीं भी लिखते हैं, दीज आर द सेलिएंट पॉइंट्स विच वी आर गोइंग टू रिपोर्ट. Discussion on suitability. So this is our tabular form that this was for this on the same sample. We are going to conduct 4 different tests. एक रिजल्ट से हम सेटिस्फाई नहीं होंगे, चारों का एवरेज निकाल के we will give the final value. So mass, wet soil, dry soil, moisture, this we will discuss in the next time class.